Is so good to be with you today. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022, and we are here to ignite your hope. There's no hopeless circumstances, there's just people who do not have hope. And once people get true hope, circumstances cannot stay the same. Hope's an unstoppable force. Hope is the belief that the future will be better than the present, and I have the power to help make it so. I believe after love, hope is the most powerful leadership quality there is, leadership influential quality there is. Our hope level determines our influence level. He who has the most hope has the most influence. And so we here at Igniting Hope, we're focused on our beliefs. We have an assignment to help us believe truth instead of lies. We're belief specialists. We have belief trainers that we have. And I'm just excited to be able to be with you today, and just blessings to you as you're watching. I'm going to be talking today about just 8 weapons. Actually, 10 weapons. I might only get to 8, but I'm going to be talking about weapons that we have for our warfare. Now, in 2 Corinthians 10:4, it says, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds. Now, it says weapons. It's not just weapon. And it's important to know it's called a weapon of warfare. There's a fight. There's a battle. Certainly we know in Ephesians chapter 6, it says, put on the full armor of God. And in putting on the full armor of God, it says, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities, and talking about the demonic forces. But the demonic forces are empowered through lies. They're empowered through lies. And really, that's the main weapon. In talking in John 8, Jesus said this about the devil. He said he's the father of all lies. He's the father of all lies. And so when we think about weapons, and that we've been given supernatural weapons, and as we think just also about really the context of 2 Corinthians 10:4 and 5, where it's the most quoted spiritual warfare passage in the Bible, but it's not talking about regional demonic principalities. It's talking about belief systems in our own mind. So as we focus on that, and as we focus on just knowing that the highest level of spiritual warfare is the decision to think higher than what we're feeling and experiencing. So let me quote the whole passage, 2 Corinthians 10:4 and 5. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds. We demolish arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. So the focus is on taking thoughts captive. That's how we pull down strongholds. That's how we demolish arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Now, today, I want to share with you. I want to share with you some things about 10 weapons. Now, it's a lot to do. I know it's a lot to do in a 30-minute session, and so. But what I want to do is, obviously, I'm not going to talk a lot about each one of these. But what I want to do is just highlight them. And as whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, I want you to just note which one or maybe two of these especially gets highlighted in your spirit. Now, I believe there's two reasons it's going to get highlighted in your spirit. Number one is because it's a weapon that the Lord is going to say to activate right now, to pull down strongholds, to demolish arguments, and to take thoughts captive. It's a weapon for you right now to be highlighted. But I believe there's a secondary thing that's going to happen on this YouTube Live, Facebook Live today that we're doing. It's this, that you're going to, I believe it's also a calling on your life. I believe it's an emphasis. Some of you will already know it, but for others of you, I believe this particular session is going to be an indicator of an emphasis of what the Lord is going to have you do in order to see strongholds get demolished and self-limiting beliefs get obliterated that are in the lives of others. Hey, let me say hi to a few people here. Matthew, good morning. Viv, good morning. Good to see Rebecca on here as well. JR, yes. Greetings to you. Judy Mason, yes. Paul, good morning. Now, and so these weapons, let me, again, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds. It's so exciting. Again, we have mighty weapons. When we actually think about our beliefs, and we think about how we want to change how we think, it's exciting to know that God has weapons. He has powerful weapons. And I share frequently that Igniting Hope, we love to talk about two specific weapons. And I'll just mention them, and then we're going to move on to others. The weapon of laughter. It's a weapon, because to laugh, you have to let go of something. When we're able to laugh at the lies creating our negative beliefs and negative strongholds, we start to disempower them. And so that's the first one. That's number one, is the weapon of laughter. And why don't you just take a moment right now and just laugh out loud. Just laugh out. I like it. And then the other weapon we love to talk about is the weapon of declarations. It's a mighty supernatural weapon. It's the Romans 4:17, calling those things that are not as though they are. That's how God gives life to the dead. Faith comes by hearing. Romans 10:17. So it's a weapon to break off self-limiting beliefs by declaring what is actually true when it's not yet in our experience or in our feelings. So these two weapons of laughter and declarations are key weapons. I've written books on them, and I preach a lot about them, but they're not the only weapons. And certainly these other weapons I'm going to mention, we talk about. But I believe, again, this is a key for you today. This is the only thing that can stop you is what you believe. And so these are weapons to help break off bad beliefs. Now, here's another weapon. Weapon number 3 is beholding his glory encounters. It's a supernatural weapon. 2 Corinthians 3:18 talks about we're transformed by beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord. We're being transformed into the same image from glory to glory. So one of the great weapons that we have is through worship, adoration, through focusing on who he is, hallowing his name. We're transformed. We become the same, like the same image that we behold him in. So it's a powerful weapon. There's great beholders. There's worship leaders that are here. and that you've already got the revelation on. There's others who are going to move into a new season of beholding. That's number 3. Number 4 is prophetic ministry. Prophetic ministry. One of the main purposes of prophetic ministry, of people prophesying to each other like the angel did to Gideon in Judges 6, is to break off agreement with negative past experience. That's one of the greatest purposes of prophetic ministry, is to demolish the argument of negative past experience and negative feelings in people's lives. That's why the prophetic in 1 Corinthians 14:1 is said, out of all the gifts, go after that one the most. Prophecy is a supernatural weapon. And so we create a culture of encouragement where we're seeing the gold in people. And I don't have time to teach on all of the differences between Old Testament and New Testament prophecy, but New Testament, the gift of prophecy, which we can all function in, is encouraging, building up, and edifying. And it's a weapon. It's a weapon. Another weapon is testimonies. Testimonies. In Revelation 19:10, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And so testimonies, which the word testimony really means to do it again, to do it again, to do it again. And so it also has a spirit of prophecy on it. Every time we hear testimonies, it has a prophetic edge on it to break off low thinking, low beliefs. Because if it happens again, if it's happened in the past, it can happen again when we attach our faith to it. It's incredible. Next is praying in the Spirit. Praying in the Spirit. Jude 20 says, pray in your most holy faith. You're building up your faith. As you pray in the Spirit, you build up your holy faith. It says in 1 Corinthians 14:4, he who prays in an unknown tongue edifies himself. It's a supernatural weapon to bring breakthrough in our thinking. We build ourselves up. We dismantle strongholds by praying in the Spirit. Hey, if you just jumped on today, I am sharing. And I'm giving you a lot today. I'm giving you a lot, and purposely. I don't usually like to give this, but I believe there's a purpose, because we're talking about supernatural weapons to demolish self-limiting beliefs. Talked about laughter is a weapon. To laugh, you have to let go of something. We've talked about declarations, beholding his glory, prophecy, testimonies. All of these are so incredible. And I'm believing, as I'm talking today, that the Lord is highlighting. I'm going to be asking you at the end of this session, those who are on live, I'm going to be asking you to write in the chat, which of these weapons do you believe the Holy Spirit is highlighting to you? And again, I'm going to say this. I believe it's not only a weapon to use in your own life right now to stir up and to stir up that gift within you, but it's also, I see you emphasizing this in this season and getting revelation and breaking self-limiting beliefs off of others. Whew. Yes. Cornay, I'm glad you've got great capacity to receive this, because I'm pulling out a spiritual shotgun today and just blasting you with some, with a lot. All right, so we've done six of these so far right now. And number 7 is encouragement, a culture of encouragement. I believe one of the greatest gifts we have is encouragement that we can give to people. and getting ourselves in a culture of encouragement and finding people who are telling us what we're doing right, not just doing wrong. People who say you can do it. And by the way, sometimes we don't have those people in our lives, and that's why you listen to messages like this. That's why you listen to podcasts from me, from Joel Osteen, from others who are actually speaking a constant word of encouragement. Encouragement is a supernatural weapon that puts courage in us. And then thanksgiving is number 8. Thanksgiving is a powerful weapon. It's a powerful weapon. It says in Philippians 4, 6, and 7, it says, do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Thanksgiving's a weapon. Man, when we start thanking God, Thanksgiving is one of the main ways to capture lives. Thank you, Lord, you're working. Thank you, you're going to provide my needs. Thank you that you're giving me wisdom on how to approach that situation. Thank you that my prayers for America are working. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you is a tremendous weapon, not only defensive weapon, but in Psalm 100, it says, enter his gates with thanksgiving. And thanksgiving is a weapon that causes us to move through gates in the new dimensions. Whew. And then biblical meditation, number 9. And again, these are not all of the supernatural weapons, but it says in 2 Corinthians 10:4, the weapons, plural, of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds. Weapon of meditation. The weapon of meditation, and I'll just add imagination in there, where we actually pause and think about the truths of God, where we actually meditate and see ourselves functioning in and seeing breakthrough. The imagination is one of the keys to meditating on the word. And it says in Joshua 1:8, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, that you may do according to all that is written therein. Then you will make your way prosperous and be of good success. And then lastly is anointed counselors it's a weapon. In Isaiah 61, it says, the Spirit of the sovereign Lord is upon me. He's anointed me. And one of the things to do is to heal the brokenhearted, to heal brokenness in us, the strongholds that have resulted from disappointment and other things. And so a great weapon is people who have a gifting to help people overcome the lies, like sozo ministries, like igniting hope belief trainers, or like counselors, skilled people who are able to help us get breakthrough. Hey, I want to just mention the 10 again, and then here's what I want you to do. I want you to get on the chat and say, hey, this one, or I'll let you do 2 if you're alone. This one or 2 really spoke to me today. So we're talking about the weapon of laughter, of declaration, the weapon of beholding his glory, God encounters, the weapon of prophetic ministry, the weapon of testimonies, of praying in the Spirit, praying in tongues, the weapon of encouragement, the weapon of thanksgiving, the weapon of meditation and imagination, and the weapon of anointed counselors like sozo ministers, belief trainers, and skilled counselors. Wow. I am excited about this. Now, here it is. Woohoo! Melissa, great to have you on here. Vicky, Jessica, yes. Now, here's what I want you to do. I'd love for you to put in the chat which one or 2 of these spoke to you the most. And I'm believing it's a word for you in this hour of how to pull down self-limiting beliefs in your own life, and it's also a calling. Yep. Allison, worship and declarations. Vicky, praying in the Spirit. Praying in the Spirit. Love it. Angie, declarations and praying in the Spirit. Terry, thanksgiving. Jenny, encouragement, laughter, counselors. Yes. Pearl, thanksgiving and encouragement. Jessica, beholding his glory. Gratitude, Lance. Vicky, praying in tongues and thankfulness. Akua, praying in the Spirit and thanksgiving. Melissa, praying in the Spirit. Yes. Dawn, thanksgiving and laughter. Adele, beholding his glory and praying in the Spirit. I love this. Leslie, declarations and encouragement. Suzanne, imagination. Wow. I love this. I love hearing what you're saying. Thanksgiving, praying in the Spirit is so good. All right. Wow. Hey, everybody. Just so glad to be with you. Viv, worship and declarations. And again, this is one, if you just hopped on here, it'd be good for some of you to watch again. And the weapons of our warfare. Weapons. And there's different seasons where we emphasize different weapons. And I haven't even mentioned all the weapons. I just gave you 10 today. Oh, my. Paul, thanksgiving and declarations. Man, the Thanksgiving one has been a biggie. Thanks. Yep. It's what a great weapon Thanksgiving is. So they're supernatural. What's so exciting about these is these are not just good ideas. They're supernatural weapons. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God to the pulling down of strongholds. Hey, I'm going to wrap this up. So have you on. Hey, if you're new to Igniting Hope YouTube, you can find us also at ignitinghope.com and sign up for our newsletter. I'm doing a podcast blog every week. I'll be back on here tonight on YouTube doing my podcast. And what we're starting to do is we're doing the podcast, not only audio, but a video version that we're putting on YouTube. It's exciting what we're doing. Also, be aware that April 29th and 30th here in Redding, California, my wife Wendy, and I are doing a 2-day, all day, and in the evening, Friday, Saturday, April 29th and 30th, Abounding Hope and Joy Conference. And that's going to be great. You can find out about that at ignitinghopeacademy.com, ignitinghopeacademy.com. And we're going to have an online version of that for people who cannot come to Redding. And just, hey, Beth, glad you're over on YouTube. Yes. Yes. And a couple things we're having come up. I'm in week number 2 of an online course called Thriving Church Leadership for Church Leaders, 12-week online course, where Connie Jones, who's going to be on tomorrow on this same YouTube channel with Igniting Faith with Connie Jones, she's doing a Reigning in Life course that's going to be happening in May. And then my brother Phil Backlund and I in June are doing a 12-week online course called The Culture of Empowerment, using our new book, The Culture of Empowerment, Business and Organizational Version. It's going to be a great online course for creating healthy leaders, healthy teams. You want to go to the next level in your leadership. That is what's happening. Mm. And we also just, I want to mention here that we have certified Igniting Hope belief trainers. You can find out about them on ignitinghope.com under resources. That our belief trainers are specialists in helping us overcome self-limiting beliefs and believing the truth that will make us free. Thanks so much for listening today or watching today. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day and the rest of the week. Bye.